I have a question for you today. Who is Lucifer? A lot of people would quickly answer, it's Satan, the great adversary, the enemy of Yahweh and his people. However, what if I tell you that the name Lucifer is actually a big deception used by Satan himself to trick us into worshiping and praising him? What if I tell you that the name Lucifer shouldn't be a name given to the devil, but rather it is a title he stole from Jesus Christ or Yahshua? Today, I want to talk about who the real Lucifer is and how we have been using this name wrong for a very long time. Join us today and discover shocking new truths from the Bible. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Hi friends, I'm Joshua Infantado of Becoming Christians Academy, the best online course for you if you want to become a zealous and faithful servant of Yahweh. Today, I want to talk about the real identity of Lucifer. However, before we proceed, let me share with you a free booklet entitled, Who is Satan? In this booklet, I'll share with you the 20 little known biblical facts about Satan. If you wish to get your free copy, go to the description box and you'll find the download link. Alright, with that said, let's go back to our main discussion. If you're going to randomly ask people in the street, who is Lucifer? They would most likely answer Satan. Undoubtedly, the world knows Lucifer as Satan. From movies, encyclopedias, video games, and even in Christian literature, we can see all over the places that the name Lucifer is ascribed to the great deceiver, Satan the devil. However, is this true? Who is really Lucifer? Is it really Satan? Or could it be someone else? To answer this question, let's go to the only verse where we can read this name, Lucifer. That's Isaiah 14 verse 12. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning. How you are cut down to the ground, you who weakened the nations. Reading through the context, it is very clear, without a shadow of a doubt, Satan is one referred here as Lucifer. Now the next question we should ask is, how did we get the name Lucifer? Let's have a little bit of history. In 382 AD, Pope Damasus asked the scholar Jerome to make an official revision of the Latin versions used in the Catholic Church. Jerome's work would later be called the Latin Vulgate, which is kind of poor translation of the Bible. Now here's the problem. He was expected to use the Hebrew text as his basis for the Old Testament. However, he didn't follow that directive. Instead, he used the Greek language Septuagint, which is already a translation of the original text. The Greek Septuagint used by Jerome was produced by Origen over a century ago. So basically, Jerome was translating the Old Testament using a translation rather than using the original text. So you can just imagine that if there's an error in the Greek Septuagint, then there's a high chance that Jerome would copy the same error in his Latin Vulgate translation. The Hebrew word translated as Lucifer in Isaiah 14 verse 12 is Hillel. Origen, the one who created Greek Septuagint, mistranslated this word as Eosphoros, which in modern Greek is phosphorus. Phosphorus means light bearer or light bringer. Now, if you're going to translate a Bible verse based on a wrong translation, then it is expected that your own version of the translation would also be wrong. That's what happened to Jerome. So when Jerome saw the mistranslated Greek word, which is Eosphoros, he simply translated in the most accurate Latin term, Lucifer. Phosphorus and Lucifer exactly mean the same thing, which is light bringer. That's how we got Lucifer in Isaiah 14 verse 12. Now, you might think, what's the big deal about this? Well, it's a huge problem because when we call Satan as Lucifer, we are actually calling him the light bringer, which is actually not true. Now we need to ask ourselves, is Satan really a light bringer? I don't think so. Since most of us don't know Greek, the problem is just too difficult to see. The effect of this blatant error can be felt in 2 Peter 1 verses 16 to 19. Let's read. For we did not follow cunningly devised fables when we made known to you the power and coming of our Lord Jesus Christ, but were eyewitnesses of His majesty. For He received from God the Father honor and glory when such a voice came to Him from the excellent glory. This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased. And we heard this voice which came from heaven when we were with Him on the holy mountain. Now notice, this passage is talking about Jesus Christ or Yeshua. Let's continue reading in verse 19. And so, we have the prophetic word confirmed, which you do well to heed as a light that shines in a dark place, until the day dawns and the morning star rises in your hearts. At first look, we can't really see any problem here. However, if you know Greek, you'll soon see the deception. Do you know the Greek word for morning star here? It's phosphorus, which is actually Lucifer in Latin. So using the Latin word for phosphorus, this will read, until the day dawns and Lucifer rises in your hearts. Can you just imagine? If it's really true that Satan is Lucifer, we are actually waiting and inviting Satan to rise or enter into our hearts. Now, where did the translators got the title Morning Star? They got it from Revelation 22 verse 16, where Yeshua clearly identified himself as the bright morning star. You read, I, Yeshua or Jesus, have sent my angel to testify to you these things in the churches. I am the root and the offspring of David, the bright and morning star. The Greek for the title morning star isn't phosphorus. It is actually orthrinos, which means morning, and aster, which means star. So why did the translators use morning star in 2 Peter 1 verse 19 when its Greek word is not orthrinos, aster? It is because they have already made the error of translating phosphorus as Lucifer in the earlier verse in Isaiah, and they didn't have the guts to acknowledge and correct their mistake. So instead, they borrowed the title of Jesus and placed it in 2 Peter 1 verse 19. So the next question is, what is the correct translation of Isaiah 14 verse 12? If not Lucifer, what is the correct translation of Hillel? Here's the challenge. The Hebrew word Hillel is only used once in the Hebrew text. It could have easily been translated if you can see how it is used in other parts of the Bible. So it would be very difficult to know how to translate it. Some Bible translators wisely just retained the Hebrew word in Isaiah 14 verse 12 as, how you are fallen from heaven, O Hillel, son of the morning. Nevertheless, I did find some translations that could be correct, but I'm not 100% sure. Some translators put it this way, how you are fallen from heaven, O shining one, son of the morning. How are you fallen from heaven? How, son of the morning? How art thou fallen from heaven, you arrogant braggart, son of the morning? So those translations could be more accurate rather than using the name Lucifer and ascribing it to Satan, the prince of darkness and lies. Now the main point of my message is not to investigate the real meaning of Hillel, since it could be a huge topic and the translators widely debate among themselves. So I just want to focus on the name Lucifer. The name means Lightbringer in Latin. My question for you is this: who is the real Lightbringer? Well, the Bible consistently gives us the correct answer. Let me read a few verses here. John 8:12. I am the light of the world. He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, but have the light of life. John 1 verses 6 to 9. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. This man came for a witness, to bear witness of the light, that all through him might believe. He was not that light, but was sent to bear witness of that light. That was the true light which gives light to everyone, to every man coming into the world. John 9:5. As long as I am in the world, I am the light of the world. There are numerous verses like this, and the Bible is consistent. The true Lightbringer is no other than Yahshua the Messiah, or as the world calls him, Jesus Christ. He is the true Lucifer. Yet, since the name is so corrupted, it feels wrong to call Yahshua as Lucifer. But that's exactly who he is. This gives us a brand new insight into what 2 Corinthians 11:13-15 says. For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into apostles of Christ. And no wonder, for Satan himself transforms himself into what? Into an angel of light. Angel simply means messenger. And what does the messenger do? He brings something. In this case, he brings light. And that's exactly what Satan has done. He transformed himself into the angel of light. Or in other words, the bringer of light, the light bringer. He stole the name Lucifer and ascribed it to himself, when in reality, this is not his role, but absolutely the role of Yahshua. Now, some people argue that Lucifer is Satan's name before his fall. That's actually another devilish deception that Satan wants us to believe. Let's ask ourselves, when did Satan become a light bringer? Was there any time in his existence that he brought light? If yes, to whom did he bring light to? There were no humans yet before his rebellion, correct? Obviously, Satan has never been a light bringer. And calling him Lucifer as his name before his fall would be wrong. John 8:44 tells us, "You are of your father the devil, and the desires of your father you want to do." He was a murderer. From when? From the beginning. And does not stand in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaks from his own resources, for he is a liar and the father of it. So Satan is already a murderer from the beginning. And even though he was made perfect and initially good, we still can't call him Lucifer, because we have already established that it is a mistranslation. Friends, this is the truth of the matter. Satan is the destroyer, the deceiver, and the perfect epitome of darkness. He didn't bring light. He brought darkness, destruction, and deception. Calling him Lucifer is a great insult to the true light bringer. Calling him Lucifer makes us a tool to continue the worldwide deception. The name Lucifer never belonged to Satan. Truly, the whole world is deceived, and we can be thankful for our Abba Yahweh that He has revealed unto us the truth. May this truth help us better understand who Satan is, how he deceives people, and how we can better overcome his evil devices. Before we end, let me remind you of our free offer, Who is Satan? In this Bible study guide, you'll learn how Satan deceives, influences, and even possesses people, how Satan is the real ruler of this world, what was Satan like before the world began, and what was he doing, how Satan infiltrated churches today, the future destiny of Satan, and so much more. I have included the download link in the description box for you to get your copy. So please don't miss this opportunity to learn more about how we can overcome Satan. Well friends, I hope that helps and has given you new truths in your life. Again, I'm Joshua Infantado, Becoming Christians Academy, praying that Yahweh, the Most High God, will bless us all with His love, truth, and grace. See you next time.